Hey guys, welcome to a new episode of the podcast. So, why I'm talking right now is just to say if you are sensitive to mental health topics or suicide or anything along those lines, from about 32 minutes in, we will be talking about those. And Ed goes into quite good depth on his experience with mental health. So please do just skip past that point. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoy the episode. Thank you.
What's up, guys? Welcome to What the Fuck Happened Last Night. I'm Ed, that's Reese, that's Ryan, that's Jay. You guys think you've seen me on the rocks before, but God help you, am I on the rocks today? Running on mostly in this corner, we have the heavy fuck asking the questions at the top. I'm gonna just fucking ask the question. Topic jar.
Isn't the expression on the ropes? Not on the rocks.
When I called him, he was like, Ryan and Jay have missed a week. Can I miss a week? I was like, no.
When did I miss a week?
Exactly, you didn't. I was like, Ryan hasn't. And he was like, yeah, but Jay did. And I was like, yeah, Jay was very ill.
Yeah, it's just Jay.
I would love to miss.
I was like Rona ill, but it wasn't Rona.
I would love to miss the week between next week and 2023. That's the week I'd like to miss.
Yeah.
Do you want to just miss, like, several years? Reliable.
And I'd love to put effort into making cringy TikToks just for no one else to do it.
Whose idea was this? There's literally one of my behind the scenes is me ranting about this. Whose idea was this? Because I hate TikTok. It's so cringe. I love watching them, but doing them is the cringiest shit.
I don't even like watching them.
The thing is, every idea I've had has been like, oh yeah, that could be funny. But as soon as you put it into recording with yourself, it's so much more cringe.
Mate, why I did that yesterday, I had like 4 different ideas I was gonna do. Kept on failing.
You were gonna do that workout one, weren't you?
Yeah, I did that. I was like, nah, this is way too cringe. I can't post this. I had some other ideas that I asked like a mate for, and I was just like, these are ways like they would do well, but they're way too cringe. I had one of them from my mate, which I was like, I would just get cancelled for. It was like a really dark humor joke. I was like, I can't do
I mean,
that.
that's right up TikTok street.
Exactly.
Can I just say, as soon as we said dark humour, Eddie's face just was like, someone say my specialty.
I mean, the one TikTok I've uploaded is just, it's literally just called BOV Depression, which is like me, like I was going to do this yesterday because yesterday I woke up, I saw my alarm clock said like 5 p.m. I'm like, oh, if this isn't a sign of depression, I don't know what is. So I was going to film that with just like a really sad song over it, but I forgot. So I just did it today. So, yeah, behind the scenes, guys.
The video is going to be jokes, to be fair, I think.
Yeah.
The problem is, I don't know what I can do. I come up with spontaneous ideas, but not when I need them, just when, like, I don't fucking need them.
I mean, I've been favoriting a lot more TikToks just in case I need, like, ideas.
Yeah.
That being said, I've got loads of ideas for new YouTube videos, you know?
Well, pop them in the fucking chat.
No, for my channel.
Oh, okay. Yeah, how's that going, by the way?
I uploaded my most recent video. Reese saw it before it was even uploaded, so,
Wow, that's not
Reese,
favoritism.
this is your time to talk on the podcast, my guy. What was my last YouTube video about?
Oh, I won't lie. Eddie's video where it's just come out, is honestly one of the best YouTube videos I think I've seen, and that's not even me like trying to be nice because I'm his mate or anything. Like it was.
Yeah, but I said that about elite clothing. Like I go, it's the best clothing. No, it is the best clothing. It honestly is.
What are you trying to say, Jay? You're trying to shut on our sponsors.
No, I'm saying that they're great.
Well, who are we talking about?
Man, what I'm saying is, you know,
Who are we talking about? Who are we
if
talking
you're
about? Tell me
wearing
more.
clothing and Step 1 underwear, I know we're not sponsors, but I can dream.
We're working on it.
You will get laid at Reading Festival, okay?
Exactly.
Like, if you are wearing elite clothing and Step 1 clothing, Step 1 underwear, you will get laid.
Oh, we all have to wear elite clothing for at least one day. Be wearing matching elite clothing
Oh
outfits
god.
for
Yeah,
Reading Festival.
I feel like we should for Reading.
Where Reese the other day was just like, Reese was like, oh, you going to ready to get laid? And I'm just like, no, man, I'm not going to get laid. I'm going to break records, right? Just...
No, I thought this was amazing. Eddie just goes to me. He was like, his plan is to just shag every possible girl he can at Reading, and then after Reading, just wait till marriage. And I was like, this is the best thing I've ever heard come out of your mouth.
Yeah, but
I'm not even capping. I ironically might do this. I might just do like a sinful hiatus, and then just become a child of God indefinitely.
Have you got the early pass?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. So you got 4 days.
I've got 4 days, and I don't. 1 minute. So I want to get my body count up to 69, and I'm not going to say where it is now, but it's achievable. It's achievable.
How many a day is that? Are you
I'm
planning
not telling you how many a day that is, because that means I need to actually out myself what my body count is. And I don't want to completely make every girl that would want to be with me think I'm a sociopath.
Okay, can I add to the forfeit of losing TikTok? The loser will have to put their body count as the only caption in that TikTok.
Watch Eddie be so dead set he's gonna lose, and all of us like so sure he's gonna lose, and then like on Friday just release the most like
I'm like
TikTok.
I know TikTok is the force.
You know what? My sense of humour is like, I get the impression my sense of humour is on the TikTok wavelength. So I imagine if I could accidentally win.
That's the thing, is TikTok is such a force not to be reckoned with. Anyone could randomly get 1 million views out of nowhere for no reason.
Yeah.
So I'm putting effort into mine to hopefully not lose. But I'm not like, I don't think it's a given that I'm not going to lose at all. Yeah. So like, I don't want to lose this, and that's why I want to forfeit so that you guys have that same pressure. Because that pressure's not been there so far.
I just want to find like an e-girl TikToker and just collab with her, just going single. Something like that.
I think to get like good views on TikTok, like a lot of the time, it's when there's no effort made. If you put a lot of time into TikTok, most of the time it won't pay off. Most of the time it's just, you don't think about it, you just go, bro.
I mean, I say effort. The one I did yesterday was literally the first thing I thought of when I woke up. I did like 2 or 3 takes, and that was it.
Your one today was very good.
Reese called me, yesterday, and he was like, bro, check out my TikTok. I was like, oh, what's he done? I have a look, and he's basically done nothing, right? And then you know what he says? He goes, oh, you're, I said to him, my Don't Laugh one, day 2, blew up. It had like 3k views. I said blew up for.
That's the thing, is the like day 2 part 2 shit always blows up, but we've only got a week and an upload a day, so I don't know like.
You know what this man said to me? He goes, oh yeah, but that wouldn't have counted because you didn't contribute anything. You literally stared at the bloody camera, Reese. You literally went, hey mate, how you doing?
Bro, I did a ratio. Look, Jay, if we're gonna be like that, I'm gonna expose you here. I'm gonna expose you for what you've been doing all of today. I'm gonna expose you, okay?
On social media and encouraging people to watch and like it for a $5.
Jay, Ryan, don't get me wrong. Yesterday, I know I took the piss. That was the point of that one, to take the piss. But this man, right? So the rest of my TikToks this week,
that wasn't taking the piss. That was breaking one of the rules. That's like going up to murder someone. It's like, no, that one was just to take the piss.
Anyway, so back to my point. Guess what Jay has been doing? Jay has been uploading a TikTok with the caption, what the fuck happened last night?
No,
if it doesn't do well, he deletes it and posts a new one.
I haven't done this yet. No, I haven't done it yet. I said to him,
because 12 minutes ago, another new post is on your account with what the fuck happened last night, Jay. I've seen at least 3 on your account today.
Right, I feel like
that was the second one I've re-uploaded, yeah? No, that's the first one I've re-uploaded from that one. I haven't done it.
I'm going to report this for copyright.
No, wait. What's that to
copyright? Imagine being a fan.
God,
another platform.
Back for TikTok because Reese copyrights me. We've got Reese's out automatically.
No, that's nothing to do with Reese.
Actually, Joe, I do need to ask something. So I actually looked at the what the fuck happened last night TikTok thing.
Oh,
I have two questions. Why is it most of them are of me? Alright, for one. Two, why is it after the second video, all of them are like the wrong fucking orientation? Like, just like.
Oh, right. So it's because that, like that kind of like watching it like that is a bit like, oh Jesus. But then if you go to like that, you can watch it and go, oh, turn your phone and just sit there like, oh, that was funny. It's just a bit easier for people to watch. And secondly, it's mostly you because you're just the funniest member of the group, mate. To be honest.
I've just reported Jay's latest TikTok for fraud and scam.
Yeah, I did fraud and scam.
No, you break the rules. We literally. I outlined the rules on Sunday on purpose to avoid this kind of nonce behaviour, and all of a sudden, 3 of the fucking rules have been broken in the first day, and not even that subtle.
It's alright, I won't report you for fraud and scam. I see a child endangerment one here. Oh my
Fine.
The moment when your TikTok has more reports
Watch
than views.
Eddie actually do it. Watch Eddie actually do
God. He was just knocking on Jay's door tomorrow. We had information of child endangerment in this house. Jay's just like little shit, just like.
Right.
Fine,
So
I've just reported Reese's for pornography. So sorry, Reese. On both accounts, by the way.
Oh, you fucking sweat. Wait, Reese was actually going to initiate a conversation for once.
I haven't.
I was going back to Eddie's YouTube.
Oh yeah, shit.
Yes.
Because we did skip this. It is genuinely one of the best videos I did. There wasn't really any editing at all in it, well, there wasn't. It was just like him for like 10 minutes or so, just sat down at the camera, just like being very open about his opinion on his mental health, what he's doing about it, and why he's got to that. And it was actually a really good video. I recommend it.
Respect it.
Yeah, I mean,
Respect the hustle.
I mean, he hasn't kept to it today.
I know I haven't kept to it today. But I actually have a plan in place now. Because this is ironically the thing which helped me get through the first 2 weeks of NoFap, which was just journaling. When I fuck up, at the end of the day, I go over the fuck ups. I analyse the situation, how I felt in the situation, the lie I told myself to justify my shitty behaviour, and what should I do differently next time. I just relive it. But I have a lot of opinions about my mental health and mental health in general, and it's just, I feel like a lot, for guys, we don't get to talk about it that much. I mean, like, we do get to talk about it. The stigma against male mental health isn't as bad as it used to be, but we don't.
It's not, yeah, the platform isn't.
It's like, when we bring it up, it's like, oh yeah, male mental health is a big problem, but it's kind of swept under the rug at the same time. It's not acknowledged, but unacknowledged.
We're only just acknowledging the stigma when we've all spent 20 plus years of our lives now with that not being sort of part of it. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, without getting too deep into it, I felt like the biggest fucking hypocrite when I did my Movember shit, because that's like, I don't talk about my mental health as much as I really should.
I mean, that's just what guys do. We don't talk about it, and that's the reason why we end up. I know we're going deep for the podcast right now, but we don't talk. Like, we don't talk about it, and like, I have my own theories of why it is, but my theories kind of go deep into like systemic sexism within our society. And when I say sexism, I'm not going to go political, but it's. I have a lot of very inbuilt opinions, and when I've actually made that video, I go into some detail about it, because I know I talk about where people have called me up saying they're going to kill themselves, and they just were doing it for attention. And I was nervous to upload it because I know suicide is a touchy topic for people, and I didn't know whether that would be too far. So I actually made Reese say, like, can you watch this before I upload this, just so I know that this isn't going too far.
Well, when you think about it, what's one what's one male character or role model or anyone that you've seen in your whole life that has gone through their problems by talking about it? I
Tyson
can't think
Fury.
of one.
Ryan Reynolds.
I think Tyson Fury was the first
Yeah.
big person to talk about
that's
it.
a good point. Yeah.
I mean, I would say David Goggins, but he didn't really go through it through talking about it. He
I'm thinking more. Yeah, to be fair, no, I agree with the Tyson Fury thing 100%. I was thinking more like characters in films and TV shows, because when you think about
Yeah,
it,
that's
like
true.
stereotypically, and in every, like in just cinema and books and all the things that we're influenced by growing up, it's always like, if you think about like one of the biggest characters for us in our generation growing up is probably Iron Man, right? He literally, like, is there a more a lone way of dealing with your problems than what he's done? And that's the kind of stuff that we're seeing. That's sort of how we think that we need to deal with it.
I think Marvel's done an excellent job on it, to be fair, because if you think about it, they've got, of course, Iron Man had his, like, literally crippling anxiety.
Yeah.
The Punisher had depression from his family getting killed.
Yeah.
And then Thor and
I wouldn't
Endgame.
even. I was more like PTSD, mate.
Yeah, true. But then Thor
yeah.
in Endgame with his depression and then coping with it with alcohol. So they have, to be fair, I think
what?
it's getting better.
Alcohol?
Oh, God.
Well, no,
Like, the thing is, like, I don't think just showing it is an example of it getting better. Because I'll give you an example. It's like,
step in the right direction.
I don't have a problem. I know a lot of people on my side of the political fence are like, oh, why are there gays appearing in this show for no fucking reason? I'm like, it's not for no fucking reason. It's because they're people too. They deserve the same representation. They're not just making the character gay as a virtue signal. Right?
Well, there is situations where that has been the case, but that's
I know there is
that's relevant to
situations
your
where that's
point.
been the case, but like at the same time, the thing about it though, I get what they're coming from. Like, just forcing it out there, it doesn't make people talk about it. And like, just because these male characters are shown to be having mental health doesn't mean that we're dealing with the problem. And like, fundamentally, my view on mental health is that, and people will disagree with me on this, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with them disagreeing with me this. But Reese will tell you, I have gone through it with mental health. Right? He has seen me at my fucking lowest. Right? And I will tell you, the difference between now and when I am at my lowest is night and fucking day. And the reason for that is, this is basically what I say in the video. Western society, we have kind of been adapted to live in comfort. And when you live in comfort, you don't have to deal with your problems.
Exactly.
And so you end up like, why the hell would I address my weight when I can sit down and jack off to porn for fucking God knows how long? Why would I address my sleep schedule when I can sit up on VC till 5 a.m? And like, sometimes you need to strip away all of the comfort and actually let yourself suffer for a little bit to understand your inner demons and why you likely hate yourself.
Well, like,
and that's my view on it.
That's why I like got you out of bed and got you in the podcast.
Yeah,
today.
no, I hate you for it, but fuck me, I love you for it.
Because I've seen you in. I would say I've seen you at your worst twice. I'd say there's been 2 different points where I've seen you like that. And I would say the past week, of course. So I've started training Eddie for his fat loss recently, which has been going really, really well, to be fair. But the past week, I would say, of course, there's been lots of ups from where he's been doing that training, but the downs have been very similar to when I've seen him going down that path again.
Yeah.
So that's why when he was like, "Oh, can I just miss this week?" Stuff like that. I was like, no, because I think when you're in that headspace, it's better to
if you let yourself spiral, it's just gonna
it's better to get off your ass and do something then
this is the reason why I say
like-
Reese is probably one of the best friends I could ever have, because
I'm so sorry. My condolences.
you can't.
no, but it's along the lines that you have some friends who will just be like, yeah, it's okay, you don't have to do it, like, you know, we'll do what you got to do. Then Reese is like, I don't give a shit. All right, you need this, do it. Like Reese is one of those friends that like tells me what I need to hear rather than what I want to hear. And God help me, I want to punch him in the face sometimes. And at Reading, I'm going to be around him non-stop for 4 days, and I likely will punch him in the face. But like, it's yeah.
Yeah, but one thing is, the advantage of Reese is when you punch him in the face, you can use training as an excuse and say, "Oh no, mate, it's just training."
You can't. To be fair, I think the first time though, because it did happen in the flat, and all of us were very much. Because I remember having a sit down with Jack about it, and we were like, "Well, what's?" Because at the time, Ed was like, when I say in a bad way, like in a very bad way, like he was genuinely planning to take his life. And me and Jack were saying like, "What's the best way do we go about this?" And we thought the best way would be to just leave him, let him like sleep during the day, all of this shit, not really do anything, and it just kind of got worse and worse. So I think that is very much when you're in that headspace, it's better to just.
That's to me why, like, that's to me why I think mental health has been such a huge problem over the last year. Not only because everything's gone to shit, and seemingly even outside of COVID, everyone seems to have some fucked up shit going on in their own lives. But when you've not got a routine, or you've not got an excuse to yourself up and like to do shit that takes your mind off of it, or outlets that help you process it in a healthy way, you're just spiraling. Like, I'm not gonna lie, because for me, one of my ways of dealing with it is by keeping busy, and I love keeping busy. And for me, a day where I have 20 minutes to myself is a bit too much, and I rather not. I like being busy the whole time, as we can tell you. But that's why as soon as we went into lockdown, I was like, oh great, time to chill and catch up on some games and shit. I also knew that in the long run, it wouldn't be good for me.
The thing is, the way I view it is, and again, people are going to disagree with me on this. I don't give a shit, right? I do believe depression is a real thing, right? But equally, what I will say is, if you are sleeping all day, not exercising, eating shit food, spending all of your time playing video games and masturbating, not getting sunlight, not living a healthy life, then you are not giving yourself a chance to not be depressed.
Exactly, and it's one of the other things that is so true and so said over and over again is your physical health and your mental health are so much more linked than you think. So I went to see a doctor when I first came here because I was getting quite a few COVID tests just because my dad's quite old, so we want to be safe. And I did a general checkup because I hadn't done one since before I went to uni. And one of the only things that he had to note was the fact that my vitamin D levels were so low, like worrying low. Because I'd been in lockdown for like 4 or 5 months in the UK, staying inside, sleeping most of the day, awake when the sun had already set, not that there was very much sun. And like he said, the as a young person, that's not as dangerous physically because your bones don't need the vitamin D as much as when you're older and fragile, but it can lead to quite severe depression. And it's like, yeah, that kind of kicks things into perspective.
I've read
Add up.
I've read a lot of self-help books. I mean, I am naturally going to do that because I'm in the self-improvement sphere, because, you know, NoFap and stuff. And the majority of the self-improvement books I've read essentially say that if you improve your mental health, your physical health will follow.
And vice versa.
Yeah, and vice versa. And it's along the lines that, like, something I've always find really interesting about it. Let me get my head straight. Something I find always interesting about it is that it's just the mindset is such a powerful thing, and the problem is the mindset is the thing that's so hardest to change. Like, I remember whenever I've had mates that have broken arms and that, The ones that are like, oh, I have a broken arm, ooh, but they tend to recover a lot slower than the people who are like, it's alright, I'm just going to use this, I'm going to use this as a lesson to be learned. Like, I had a mate who got punched in the throat from being mugged. And, like, he was just talking like Batman all the time. And he was really miserable about it. And, like, oh, yeah, he's been punched in the throat. It's tragic. Like, you sound like Batman, it's tragic. But, like, if you're going to sit down and drink whiskey all day and, like, be sad about it because you sound like Batman, you're not giving your fucking throat a chance to heal, are you? Like,
I mean, I can give you another example of that. Some people might know, especially if you've seen me around the swimming pool, that I broke my collarbone in a rugby injury once. And the day I broke my collarbone at that tournament, one of my mates, well, a guy, like a teammate from another team, tore a ligament on his other shoulder. Which obviously, well, it wasn't like a full rip, it was like a tear, which in theory should take a lot less time to heal than a broken collarbone. But because when I went to my first, when I first broke it, I didn't like believe it was broken, and the only reason why I went to the clinic was because every motion I did with my arm hurt. And when we did the X-ray, they did the X-ray from head on, and because it was a clean break, they just thought it was a fracture and not a break. So they just put me in a sling for a bit, and didn't move it back in because it didn't look broken from the angle they took the X-ray at. 2 weeks later, I was going around like school, and my mate was like asking if he could feel it because I've got a lump now. I don't know how much you can tell, but that's sticking out. So that's where my collarbone should be here, and then that's where the rest of it is. And he was like, mate, it shouldn't be sticking out that much. And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, yeah, that's not natural. So we went back and they scanned it, and they're like, well, actually, yeah, it was a clean break and we didn't really realize. So it's now rebonded like this. And in the space, and they're like, we can break it again and put it in the bolts and put you in a harness. But then every time you break a bone, the bond afterwards is weaker and weaker every time, so they didn't recommend it, and I was healing quite well. In the space of 2 months, I was playing rugby again. It was not until like a month after that my other friend who had torn his ligament and who was being like a bit of a bitch, as you would say, about it, was back into training. It's not like mindset has so much more to do with everything than people realize, I think, and we all realize, even us.
I sent Eddie a video about this, about Tyson Fury, actually. There's a really good, it's like a 6-7 minute video.
it does help. It helped me a lot.
It's one of the best videos I've ever seen for like getting yourself out of like a rut or something. And I think it's very relatable for Eddie, because it's about Tyson Fury and what he went through. Because Tyson Fury, he beat Vladimir Klitschko, who was the world champion at the time. At that point, he had like achieved everything he wanted to, and then started like drinking, doing drugs and shit every night out, and I think he got to some stupid weight. I think it was like 27 stone or some shit, which is very similar. Of course, it's much heavier than Eddie, but it's still very similar.
I'm heavier than that.
Oh shit! Well, it's very similar to Eddie in the sense that Eddie's kind of, these past couple months, gone down that same hole, put on a fuck ton of weight. And what happened with him was he was like carrying on with that for I think like a year or two. And then on New Year's Eve one night, he was like on a night out, all dressed up, like having a good time. And then like just halfway through the night, he just kind of like paused, was like, what the fuck am I doing? And just went home, like told his wife, he was like, tomorrow I'm getting back into things. And next day he tried going on a run, couldn't finish the run. He got like a mile in and couldn't finish it, when like boxers were always pretty good runners, because that's like the main cardio we do outside of boxing. So you like walk the rest of it. The next day tried to go for a bit more, got back into it, and now of course Tyson Fury is world champion again, and depending on what happens with AJ, might be the unified world champion of the world.
Yeah.
And I send that to Eddie because I think is a really good video because it shows how someone that was one of the strongest and like toughest men on the planet went from having everything to literally trying to kill himself over and over again, and then nowadays he is one of the biggest role models for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And
like,
it's helped, I think.
I fully relate to what he talked about in what he was talking about, because I've watched a few versions of that video now, because that video does really help. And like, can I open up about my mental health on this podcast?
Of course.
Yeah, go for it.
Is this the right platform for it?
Yeah.
Whatever you deem right.
Okay. Well, I guess I will be. This is going to get very deep very quickly, and I'm very sorry about that. If
That's what you said.
I'm sure Reese might put in a timestamp, or might not.
I'll put in a little warning. Hold on.
So since I was younger, I've kind of felt this bitter loneliness. I could be in a room surrounded by people and just feel like I was completely alone. And I've never fully understood why. And I've felt like I've isolated myself from people because of it. And like, I will do everything I can to not actually explain to people, this is how I'm feeling. I used to wear my heart on my sleeve. But even when I was wearing my heart on my sleeve, it wouldn't all come out. I would still be putting up barriers, so I wouldn't talk about it. And like, I mean, since Jade, I've got worse and worse with that. I mean, Reese will tell you, I used to be very open about stuff, and now I just don't talk to anyone about it. And I suppose deep down, I was always somewhat afraid of death, and that I've always thought that when you die, you only really die once everyone fucking forgets you. And I considered myself to be absolutely insignificant to the point where I'm not even below average. I'm not above average, I'm not below average. When I die, the only 3 people will come to my funeral, but they will come out of obligation, not because they actually want to be there. That the people that will arrive will just be pissed off, most likely. And I convinced myself for this a very long time that I am just an insignificant speck of dust on the windshield of life that will never be marked upon, will never be mentioned in anything more than just a footnote, if anything.
I'm sorry, I'm going to interrupt with a slight light note, but if you think that that's not a big deal, you've obviously not done enough driving, because one speck of dust in your windshield at the wrong place can drive you fucking nuts.
But like, it terrified me for a very long time, just the cosmic horror of thinking I do not matter. And I used that to justify shitty behaviour for a very long time, like drinking to excess to the point where I was throwing up for the 8th time that night. Because I don't matter. It doesn't matter if I kill myself drinking it. I don't matter. I ended up kind of pulling myself out of it, like with the mindset that I deserve a hell of a lot better than I give myself credit for. And it's very hard, and like, I feel like I kind of got that mindset partly from quitting social media, because I'm not going on a pedestal here. If you like social media, go on social media, but when you're constantly comparing yourself to everyone else in the world, which is what the platform like social media does, there is always someone better than you. And it's very hard for you to be proud of your achievements when there are people out there who are better than you. So you end up thinking, yeah, I am average. And that's all I'm ever going to be good at, being average. But I'm going to sound like I'm sucking my own dick here, but fuck you, I don't care. I'm a moderately intelligent person. I'm Charbbrian. I'm a moderately intelligent person. I'm not great looking, I'm not bad looking, but
that's what
I make people laugh. I generally am a happy person. I can make other people happy. And the fact that I put myself through that for so long, I made other people watch me be unhappy. And that's not fair on them. And if I'm not doing this for myself, I have to do it for other people. Because it's not fair to make the people I care about watch me put myself through hell. And, you know, I'm not suicidal anymore. I actually see a point in life. I actually see a point in carrying on. But it's difficult because I spent so long in that headspace of I don't matter and I won't care and no one will care if I die, that it's, you know, it's, you have those bad days, you feel like fucking little hooks gripping, like.
It's also, it almost becomes like your default, and like that you're working away from.
Yeah.
But on the days where you don't have the energy to work away from, you revert back to that mindset.
Yeah, like if you've ever heard the song "Car Radio" by 21 Pilots, you know,
Yeah, that is
Emo
one of
Gang.
my favorite 21 Pilots song.
Yeah,
I feel like for me, it's one of those songs that I only listen to at certain times when I really need to.
Yeah, and it really hits hard when you listen to the lyrics, because basically what the song's about is the guy's had his car radio stolen. I mean, relatable thing in 2021, am I right? No, like, he's had his car radio stolen, and now he just has to sit in the silence of his car and acknowledge his own demons. Again, you're stripping away that comfort of the music. And when you come face to face with your demons, it's pretty fucking terrifying.
I had the privilege of seeing 21 Pilots live in concert at festival once. And this highlighted exactly what I love about music and going to see music live. I think being in a crowd at a concert is one of my happy places by far. It's that, being in the slopes and being in water for me. And the moment when they played Car Radio at the end, it was late at night, and every single person in that crowd acknowledge, like, without even needing to make a sign of it, was like, acknowledge the shit that we all have to deal with and the shit that we all go through. And it almost felt like whatever shit people were going through, we were all there together at that one moment, appreciating this music, but also acknowledging the fact that yes, things aren't always this great. But it was a really beautiful moment, that.
And like, it's just, everyone has their demons, and we've gotten very good in Western society pushing them to the background so we don't have to deal with them. And I feel like that is probably the reason why mental health is so bad nowadays, because people don't have to deal with their demons if they don't want to. And logically speaking, why would you want to? It's the path of like most resistance, to actively go out of your way to reject comfort and deal with things. And I understand it because I did it for a very long time, but now I'm trying to be a person who actively goes out of his ways to be in discomfort, just so I can deal with my demons.
Well, this is quite. It brings me on to quite an interesting conversation I had with an older family member of mine who's not quite from our generation, who wasn't being like insulting to our generation in any way, but was just trying to understand why all of a sudden there's a generation that seemingly has such big issues with mental health, where that just didn't seem to happen before in the past. And I think we never got to sort of an agreement because we weren't completely sober, so the conversation gets tracked onto other things. But it was more of the fact that the world is so incredibly different now, and there's never been so much rapid change, so drastic in how people live their lives. So we haven't, as a society, haven't had time to adapt to the way things are. Whereas before, life-changing changes would take hundreds of years to happen. Now they happen almost every decade. Like, our lives are going to be are so different from people 10 years older than us, and kids 10 years younger than us. Their lives are drastically different already. And like, amongst other things, it's just it's a crazy hectic world out there.
So the problems which we deal with are completely different to the problems the generation ahead of us will deal with, and the generation behind us will deal with.
Exactly.
And like, I
The
kind
way
of
that we
I
deal
agree
with
with
those
you.
problems will have to is so different as well. And there's no, and we're the ones having to figure out what that is.
No, like, the thing is, I agree with you Like, to a degree
That
that
voice crack. That voice crack.
I agree with you to a degree that we live in a different world than they lived in, but I kind of think it's like we live in the same world, but
We live in
we've
the
just
same
been
world,
we've
but the
just
world
been
is so
given
different.
a different set of tools to, you know, not actually
Yeah.
have to deal with this world, and it's sad that, you know, I mean, I could go on my, you know, anti-porn soapbox, but I'm not going to because I beat that horse with a dead stick. But the thing is, you don't end up with a widespread mental health crisis for no reason. And
I mean, if you think about the amount of time that you spend on your phone in a day or spend listening to music, imagine not having that and having to spend that time thinking and dealing with whatever you've got going on. It's very different, and that adds up very, very quickly.
I mean, it's funny because I remember there was a short time where I actually broke my iPhone, and I was forced to use a Nokia brick phone. I don't think Reese knew me at this time, but he knows one of the times where I have had to severely downgrade to
Yeah.
And like, it was funny because I was walking around with what was essentially a trap phone, and like people were like, I would get it out, and I remember once someone came up to me like, "Oh, you dealing?" And I'm like, no, this is just my phone. And like, and I'm not gonna lie, I was actually happier when I had that phone because life was just a lot simpler. I didn't have Facebook distracting me. I didn't have Instagram distracting me. I didn't have all of these things distracting me. If I had to deal with a problem, I dealt with it there and then because it was the only thing I could fucking do.
Yeah, you can have millions of ways of procrastinating, dealing with your thoughts.
Oh man, but I'm not gonna lie, I've had some tragic phones. I've had some absolutely tragic phones. I've had a Nokia brick. What was the phone I had last year? Like it was like an.
Yeah, it wasn't. I think it was like the one after a Nokia brick.
Like an iPhone 5 or maybe.
You had an iPhone 5, then you broke that one and you got like a really shit phone. You got like a burner phone for like a month, and then you bought your mate's Android.
Oh, it's just and like I've just had some tragic fucking phones, and you know how hard it is, right, to get a girl's number when you whip out an iPhone 2, and it just. Like, I remember I did it once, and it's like, you either get two reactions, either you get mad respect for it, or they're just like, no.
So I was I was quite late out of all my friends to get an iPhone, a smartphone, which I didn't mind personally. I wanted a smartphone more for being a tech nerd than for actually like texting or whatever people. And the phone I had to call my parents and to text them when I was out was this. For quite a while, and these things are like made of plastic, indestructible plastic, including the screen. And we spent a whole 50-minute lunch break in my middle school, trying to break this phone just to see what could happen. Stepping on it, throwing like ice cooler boxes on it, rocks, stones, and tossing it up trees and shit. And after 50 minutes, this is the only damage that was done to it. It worked perfectly fine, and you had one scratch in the screen.
See, that phone's a little bit like me, built different. I'm sorry, I can't fucking say that.
I had a Motorola flip phone, and the noise that thing made when it turned on was beautiful. It was amazing.
It got a lot in
common.
common.
I want to see the phone. I broke this the day that Cold War came out, and it was because it was on the floor, and I ran my chair over it. And, mate, it is fucked. It's
heartbreaking.
And like.
Talking of songs, I've got a very good question. I think I saw this on TikTok. If you had, every time you got a boner, a song to play, so like literally, even like, you know when you get like one of the, I think it was on the Sidemen video actually, even if you get like one of those like no apparent reason boners, like just out of nowhere.
Is it, and it's a full or any percentage of erection?
Any percentage of erection. And a song starts playing out of your dick.
Fortunate Son, Go Big or Go Home.
Which one? Sorry, Eddie?
Fortunate Son. Go Big or Go Home. I'm just in Vietnam and I just get a fucking boner. Suddenly PTSD.
Does it play the
all around me.
whole time, or is it just when it happens?
It's just like a 15-second.
Okay, so
Clip of
like
that
you
audio
wouldn't,
as
it
it
wouldn't
comes
be like on the whole time whilst you're having intercourse and
In
whatnot.
fact, no. Let's do it so it's on the whole time. Let's have
Oh,
it
yeah,
so it's
that's
on the whole
dreadful.
time.
While you are erect, the song plays.
Yeah.
Tequila.
Tequila. Why tequila?
There's not many lyrics. It's a pretty good jingle. It works in most, like you can get it to work in most situations. Good excuse to do shots. That's my thought process.
Jay?
Probably Spanish Flea.
Spanish.
What the fuck? I've never heard that.
What is
I'm
that?
in Spain and I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, right. So it's the one. It's this one. You ready? So it's this. So every time I get an erection.
We can't hear it.
It's just
Oh,
like,
there Oh yeah.
yeah, that. Because. Right.
God. Reese?
I'd have Thunderstruck by AC/DC.
Oh my
I was
god.
thinking that. I was thinking that.
I'm going for Vietnam War. Reese is just going for fucking absolute. I have a massive ego.
You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna take notes of this, and then when we're doing the Tinder in real life, as each of you going up to the girl, I'm just gonna start playing a little bit of each of these songs.
You guys ever heard of the song "Enormous Penis" by Da Vinci's Notebook?
No.
I can't say I have, mate.
It's a beautiful like barbershop quartet typical like jazzy song, and the chorus is just like it's like whenever life gets you down, got you wearing a frown, and the gravy train has left you behind, and then it goes on about like when you're sad, and he's like, all I do to make myself feel better is I take a look at my enormous penis.
You know what
It's
else
so
would be a
great.
really good one? Get Hyper.
Oh my god. Hesky time. Just have Hesky time.
Hesky time.
Yes. Bro, if JJ does Hesky time at Reading, that would be the
Mate, if
maddest.
so excited for
they
KSI.
play Hesky time at Reading, I'm starting a mosh pit. I don't give a shit.
Oh, there's gonna be mosh pits regardless, but yeah, that's gonna
Oh
be sick.
man.
That's
Another
gonna be
good
amazing.
question is, if you had to have sex with someone to get the most clout, who would it be? Like, it's not about them being attractive or about. It's just
I swear we spoke
the
about
most-
this last
yeah.
time, didn't we?
no. I sent you this on TikTok, Reese. But
shit.
who do you think you could sleep with where it would get the most like media attention and the most people would hear about it?
I'm trying to think of a really famous virgin.
Oh, because
Ooh, that's
they
a-
said the Queen, didn't they?
Yeah, and I was just like, I sent that to you not because of the topic. I sent that to you as justification for me being attacked last week for saying I dragged the Queen. But
Yeah, that's right.
yeah, I'm just trying to think who would get the most.
Besides
Who would you
from
get
the
the most
Queen,
clout?
besides from the Queen.
Go on, Eddie. You've got someone.
Eddie, you definitely have to.
Oh, if it's Madeline McCann or Anne Frank,
Oh
you're
my
cancelled.
god!
If it's Madeline McCann or Anne Frank, you're cancelled.
I mean, I was thinking really famous virgin, so I just thought of our mate James. And like, no, I'm sorry.
Oh my god!
To be fair, the Pope is a shout.
Yeah, that's a good one. I mean, the Pope's
Yeah,
the
but
Pope's a little
scandal.
legend recently, isn't he? So
Oh yeah, but the thing is, he's not really a virgin. Because little
Vladimir
boys do
Putin.
pounce.
Vladimir Putin, because he is famously anti-gay, and I'll be not only the man that
Yeah,
takes
but the thing is, I feel
Vladimir
like
Putin,
he's
I
so
also-
anti-gay that people wouldn't be surprised if he was gay. Do you know what I mean?
James Charles.
No,
Ugh.
you'd be in a long list of people who wouldn't get any clout. It's not that big of a deal.
The James Charles has been trending like 3 times because of alleged boyfriends.
Yeah.
Charles is always fucking trending.
Tommy
The
in
man
it
just knows
literally
how to fucking
trends
take
every
the
time
lead.
he goes live.
Yeah, that's true. Okay,
Don't you
well,
dare
I'll
say
take
Tommy
him.
in it. He's 16.
No,
I'm stopping
no,
it before
no,
anyone
no.
goes there. I'm not letting this be this kind of podcast.
Bruce, do you wanna talk about what you just said?
What
Chris
the-
Hansen here, have a seat.
Huh?
Chris Hansen, oh fuck you, don't worry. So Catch a Predator? You never watched that?
No.
No one?
It's the one, isn't it, where like they pretend to be like someone underage and the person.
Yeah, they like pose as like
yeah,
a
I've
teenage
seen
girl
that.
online, like the guy was expecting to hook up with like a child, and this guy just walks out like, Chris Hansen here, why don't you have a seat? And there's
Yeah,
this one
I've
episode
seen
where the guy just comes with a pizza and starts eating it while the fucker's talking with him. And like the fucking commentator is cracking me up. The commentator's just like, this guy is so confident in what he's done. He even has a slice of pizza. And I'm
You
just
know
like,
what I always thought would be great? The Love Island / Come Dine With Me guy commentating one of those episodes of To Catch a
Ryan,
Predator.
With
Yeah.
your question, is it just shag, or could you then wife them up after?
Reese, we all know your experience with wifing people up. Let's not go there.
Jesus.
yeah, you was
No,
gonna ask a
what
question.
I'm thinking is, like, if you wifed up, like, say one of the sidemen or something, like, if you look at, like, Talia Mar or something, she's,
What?
like, pretty big now.
Yeah, but I feel like that would be clout within a certain group of
Yeah.
people.
I
mean,
know.
there's a
Does
lot
it
of
have to
people
be
who call
like
it
good clout or bad clout?
A Hitler would count as
Pokimane.
clout.
Pokimane. Every one of her Sims would fucking hate me, but it would still be clout.
Doesn't she have a boyfriend or something?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I swear
they
she got exposed for that, didn't she?
Yeah, and they all hate her for it.
Yeah, but that's not the most clout. You would just get clout from her simps and no one else.
It would be hard to get clout from a shag though, because it would, with the most celebrities, it would.
Yeah,
go
but I'm just
away.
saying, from one shag, who do you think would be the person you could get the most clout from?
Yeah.
Jay Bennett.
To be fair, that's up there.
Wait, you was gonna ask a question. What was it? I'm just.
Oh, I'm so gonna clip that and send that to him.
I think, is it time for a topic, Joe?
Yeah,
Oh, from the age. Oh, man.
yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, boys. I've been thinking about this question since Ryan asked it. Right.
Go on.
I'm not gonna. I'd probably something like Elizabeth Fritzl or something, because people will go like, oh, what? That's messed up. Clout.
Who's Elizabeth Fritz?
I don't have a
Thank
clue.
you for
I
asking.
was joking. I was joking. I'm so surprised.
Who is Elizabeth?
I was
Fritz?
joking.
I feel so bad it's not landed at all.
No.
No, let's know
it's
who
not
she
that it
is.
shouldn't have
Jay, who is
landed.
it?
It shouldn't have landed. It's not that it shouldn't have landed. It just Google it. I'd go for someone like who's the health ministry, the really big one.
Oh, the Belgian one.
Yeah, I'd go for her because people will be like, huh? And I'll be like, yeah, health ministry.
I feel like you should go for Boris. I think you and
You know,
Boris would
big-
have a great
I'd
time.
rather shoot myself in the face.
You and
In a
Boris
way,
would have a great
Trump
time.
and Boris would be
Ray,
up there.
you've had your face just streamed onto his home. That's the most romantic thing ever. You're in there, mate. You're in there.
Yeah,
Wait, that's
the-
romantic. I've had restraining orders for that. What?
It's romantic when they like you back. Otherwise, it's psychotic.
It's romantic if you're hot. It's cute if you're hot. If not, it's just creepy.
The last 5 minutes of this podcast.
I've been such a change from the first half hour.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Oh.
You know what? This is bad.
Trump. I'd shag Trump.
Trump would be up there.
Someone I
He
know.
looks so proud of that. He's like, I'd shag Trump.
Trump. Yeah, Trump. Like,
Yo, you know what the guy's body looks like with that fucking straight hair? Man? It looks fucking horrendous.
Trump's daughter.
no, right?
Isn't she like-
Trump's up
Isn't
there.
isn't he shagging her?
Yeah,
Probably.
true. That's why you would get clout from it.
How old is she?
She's like mid-20s or some shit now, isn't she?
I think I know. No, she would end up getting more clout for this than
Which one, Reese? Ivanka or Tiffany?
The blonde one.
They're both blonde, you dumbass.
I don't know. The one that they always make jokes that Trump's shagging.
Ivanka.
Oh well, it's good
It's
for you.
alright.
They're both very much of age.
I think it is
Oh,
Ivanka.
shall we go back onto Samantha Maxis?
Go what?
Samantha Maxis.
Oh my god. Yeah, but fictional characters is
like,
I asked an innocent question and you took it out of context.
no,
Reese,
you just very randomly just went, guys, how old's Samantha Max?
Yeah, he asked, to be fair. I feel like that's respectable.
True. Reese, so you're saying Ivanka Trump, the one that gets the most jokes about her shagging her dad.
Yeah.
So Reese said Ivanka, which is ironic because that's what Trump is. To be honest, so
Eddie, do you have a topic for us?
that didn't land.
Yeah, actually,
Trump is Ivanka. What?
He's a
Trump is
wanker.
Ivanka. Oh my god, I think we so stuck in that.
How is that not landed? How?
It's a slow day for us. It's a slow day.
I'm quitting the podcast. Oh.
this is more of an inflammatory one just to piss off Ryan. The original cobblestone texture was better.
No! 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 No, wait, what? In what world?
Just is. Just
I'm
is.
not even debating this. It's not worth debating.
You don't want to die on this hill. I get that. I get that.
That is the biggest pile of wank. What? Sorry. We'll move
I'm
on.
not gonna lie, the moment they updated that texture, the game became significantly better. Hopefully this one's better on there.
I'm actually offended by that statement. How do you think? Why would that be a thought anyone thinks of?
Oh, I was like, I don't know what happened. I was playing Minecraft with my mates, and we was playing like alpha version. I don't know why. We were drunk, and we just randomly decided, you know what? I missed the piston update, and we ended up fucking playing the piston update.
I love that.
And like,
I've done that more
we
times
just
than
ended up
anybody
like,
did.
I think we ended up playing fucking beta versions and alpha versions.
Yeah.
And like,
That's what I love the most about the new launcher is that you can just go into any version of Minecraft.
yeah, I mean, I used to have just a massive repository of every Minecraft fucking version ever.
Yep, same.
And like, because you back in the day, you couldn't just downgrade.
No, you couldn't just change it. You had to like change your file
man.
manually.
I just remember I logged into like my alpha world, which I hadn't gone into since alpha because I didn't want to break it.
Yeah.
And I saw it and I'm like, something's different here, and I'm like, the chests are full size, the fucking cobble thing's different, and I'm just sitting, I'm open a chest and like it doesn't open. I'm like, damn, that's weird. And I used to have like the Minecraft booster tracks all around the place, you know.
Oh yeah, obviously you have to. No one is a world more than 5 years old in Minecraft that doesn't have a roller coaster going from every point A to every point B.
That world was just tragic because it was got to the point where I got to the Nether and I'm like, all right, where do I go from here?
Yep. Back before just when Minecraft Let's Plays and stuff were kicking off.
Oh god, is this an actual good topic? The Manny will not be televised. Diary of your wimpy kids goes like, oh god. So so this is kind of political. Can I talk about it?
Yeah, I think that's fine.
Okay, so during the Black Lives Matter protests, Manny from the Diary of your wimpy kids, the little brother, the absolute little dickhead.
Oh no.
He became a Black Lives Matter at a black separatist symbol.
Yeah.
And legitimately, he became like a black separatism symbol, and it's absolutely beautiful because it started as a meme. They ended up just full blown adopting it. And I don't really have anything else to add here. Not gonna lie, these topics are really weak.
You made them.
I know. I'm doing my best.
There might be a Kino remake coming to Cold War.
Yeah.
Next
the thing is, I've not been able to play. I've not been able to play Outbreak yet.
Yeah, I haven't played it yet, but
because
I played like one round and then backed out. But
I'm excited.
From the little I played, it was good.
I'm excited to play Outbreak, and I did want the new map. I forget what it's called now. I played it a couple times just on my laptop, and it looks good. I just want to be able to play it properly without having to turn all my settings to half what I usually have.
Yeah, no, that's fair. But
alright, I actually have a good one now.
Go on.
Alright, so I came out. I saw this online. Alright, guys, if you had to come up with what Karen stands for, what each letter stands for, what would you say?
Can I use K for cunt?
Huh?
Can I use K for cunt?
Yeah, sure.
Nice.
That's it. Ryan's just that's all Ryan wants to
Should I say the full acronym?
Go on.
K is know your rights. A is accuse everyone. R is request a manager. E is escalate to authorities. And N is neglect all reason. Karen. Karen. I saw it and I was like, I love this. This is brilliant.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone can top that.
I'm not gonna, has anyone ever actually dealt with a proper Karen at their job?
I've dealt with parents that were like entitled parents, which is it's the same sort of category, but it's not. It wasn't quite like I need to go see the manager because I was in charge that day. So it was like, just being like, oh, my kid should have an extra chance, even though you're not giving any of the other kids another go or whatever.
A lot of students are Karens, to be fair.
A lot of law students, to be specific.
I'd say law students are some of the chillest students at Brunel.
It's not specific to their course. It's like you're gonna have cunts and not cunts in every
Yeah,
room.
but if you think about, like, a lot of people usually hang out with either like course or society. Like, that's usually the group they're in.
I mean, you're the only person from my course that I speak to.
Yeah, like I don't talk
more
to my
than
course,
once a year.
Like I would say you mainly hang out with the like theatre society.
Yeah. Well,
So
and
that's what I'm saying. It's mainly like a course or society that people hang out with.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
So any of the people that at least I've known were or students have usually been.
Yeah, but within every course and every society, there's mostly every group of righteous assholes to genuinely nice people.
I mean, I just think general rule of thumb, if a girl is 22 and has ordered a bottle of wine in the pub that I work at, I know I'm going to have a handful that night.
Yeah. Yeah. That's fair.
A handful of what,
if a girl our age is drinking wine...
A handful of what, Eddie? I feel like that's a bit unbarman's-like of you.
I just judge people a lot about what they order.
But what are you expecting to
I
have your
judge
hands
a
full
lot
of?
from what someone orders, Ryan.
Wait, you're missing my joke. Eddie, what are you expecting to have your hands full with?
Well, at Reading, it'll be everything.
The joke is...
I'm going to break records. I'm going to cause problems, you know.
Eddie, what are you expecting to have your hands full with? For fuck's sake.
I know what you're joking about.
I don't have to keep fucking crying at it.
I won't lie, I've never seen Ed, like, properly on the pool. And the fact it's going to be at Reading is going to be amazing. Oh, yeah, no, I know.
The moment I heard emos go to this festival, I was like, my time's shine.
You've got a tent. You've got a tent. And it's
I'm sharing a tent with Reese, though. And I think James as well.
No, I'm saying, like, one of the stages, like, one of the 10 stages is for, like, Bring Me the Horizon, what's the other... I'm so bad with naming shit, but that kind of...
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna see me at this fucking... I'm not gonna be... You are just gonna see me at this fucking thing. This fucking stage, always.
And the vibes, like, the energy in that... At that stage.
You just end up finding out a massive, like, full-blown fighting mosh pit has broke out. I'm just in the middle.
Well, there's already fighting mosh pits, but there is lots of... Those are the worst mosh pits.
The
most dangerous mosh pits. I've had a friend, like, break their ankle.
What do you consider a mosh pit to be, then?
Where you make a huge gap with everyone, you push everyone away, and then when the beat drops, everyone just jumps into that circle.
Okay, I kind of see where you're coming from. So, alright, so mosh pits in heavy metal culture, I guess, are really different to other cultures. Because for us, a mosh pit is just, actual fighting to the music.
Okay, yeah.
And then what you just called in heavy metal culture, we call a war of death, because we just run into each other and then start fighting.
Yeah, that's kind of the thing.
But then you have a circle pit where you have a mosh pit with loads of people holding hands in the round running around.
As soon as the fight breaks out, security's there within, like...
Yeah. I can imagine it being like that because it's a fairly big festival. I remember when I went to download, though, the security waited a good 5 minutes before they got involved.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I remember when I worked download, it was brilliant because I don't remember if it was a day to remember or some 41 came on. I went to my boss, I need the toilet, and he's gone, no you don't, you're just going to go and watch them play, and I'm like, Wayne, I need the fucking toilet. Don't do this to me. And he's gone, you're going to be back in 5 minutes. Come back an hour later. My work uniform is torn up. Alright, I'm covered in shit. Alright, I think if someone attacked, I have a girl's number on my arm written in lipstick. I come back, I look like a fucking state. I look like a festival car, and it's just like, it was like, what the fuck happened? I'm like, you see that mosh pit? I took names and I just rolled it. I just rolled back into the fucking bar. Everyone in the bar's looking at me, and Wayne's gone, Ed, I'm going to give you a new uniform, and we're going to forget this happened. I'm like,
Oh,
Ryan, imagine.
yeah.
Reading, yeah? You and me, we're sat round the camp with everyone else. We haven't heard from Eddie all day. Not a clue where he is. We just see Eddie walking back, topless, just in shorts, with two emo ladies locked arms with him either side, just walking towards the camp. That would be amazing.
But the only problem with that is that scenario requires more thought than I'm planning to have the whole 5 days combined.
Yeah, that's fair. You
know what? One thing I did learn from working festivals is that if you plan to get laid, don't bring a fucking airbed. Because, okay, this is another story. There was a girl called Nikki who worked with me during most of the festival season.
Yeah.
And like we fucking hated each other. We hated each other like full blown. But it was like we hated each other enough that it could have worked. And like one night we had to finish doing final stock count, and like we ended up just coming back to the camp, and like she's found out the person she's sharing the tent with is shagging in her tent, and she's got, oh for fuck's sake, and I've gone, I would offer you to stay in my tent, but you're a bitch. And I just got in, and she got in with me. And like, next morning, I just hear everyone going, who the fuck was shagging on an airbed last night? Because he kept all of us up. And I'm like, yeah, who did that? Like,
Yeah, but any shagging at a festival will keep everyone up. Which is why the only way of doing it is getting too fucked. It's getting fucked to the point where you make it to your tents, and then you don't remember what happens. And
yeah, man, it's the power move. You need to know what you're doing and own it.
Oh no, I mean the only way to sleep through that is to make it back to your tent unconscious.
Oh man, I think
this is
my
such
favorite...
a messy weekend.
I'm not looking forward to sharing a tent with Eddie. This is gonna be bad.
Are you guys sharing tents?
Yeah.
You know what? There was another time.
Bad idea.
There was a girl in a tent in the, like, you know, like you all sat up in like a little circle and like there was a girl. None of us liked her. Just heads up, none of us liked her. She was that girl that you worked with, and like she was such a pain in the ass. And she ended up. It was like 3 a.m. A guy come back. She's you know getting yeah.
What's that?
Yeah. Fingered.
Playing Chinese finger.
Right? She's getting fingered in a tent. And the guy just goes like 5 minutes in, he's like, you know, I can't fucking do this, you smell. And he just gets up and leaves.
I respect that, to be fair.
Shit. He was... None of us liked her, but all of us felt bad. But the problem is she spent 3 hours crying. And like... Bear in mind, when you're working festivals, you're not working like 8-hour shifts. We was working like 14, 16.
No, that's not good. Hello podcast. We're lagging. Hello.
The field for 5 days along with that, it's just if Reading doesn't happen, I will actually be like devastated, because this is the only thing in 2021 I've let myself have any hope for. Like, I went into 2021 thinking I'm gonna set the bar so low so that no matter what happens, I'm not heartbroken when shit goes wrong. Like, to me, if we got to March and anyone that I knew or cared about was still alive, then I would be like glad that was where the bar was. And now I'm letting myself have hope for Reading, which is dangerous.
You know what will be a god tier move on the way back from Reading? Weatherspoon's breakfast.
Oh yeah. The Reading Weatherspoons though is always full, so you need to try and get up and out of there.
No. We just go for another one just further down the road. We're not
Yeah,
included.
exactly, and just stop somewhere. That's why I want to drive. It's just there was no parking passes left when I booked, but probably we can figure something out.
I'm loving it. I'm being honest. Reading is not my fucking scene.
No,
Not
It's
my
not mine.
music.
It's my first festival, and I don't do drugs, so.
Yeah, it's not my scene.
What do you mean?
Not
drugs?
my
No one
music.
does-
Not my scene. I'm going for the memes and to be a complete degenerate. That's the reason why I'm going. I'm going Mad Max mode. Alright, like just you just
Yeah,
see me
Max
kill
Payne, right.
someone. Just, I took it a little bit too far.
No.
Oh,
I can't.
Apparently Reading. I just checked the chat there. Apparently Reading is all dependent on the budget tomorrow from the government, because they need.
Well, isn't it the 8th? I thought it was the 8th.
They put in the chat saying it was tomorrow. I'm not too sure.
Oh shit.
But apparently the budget tomorrow is gonna say whether the government are gonna give festival insurance out or not.
Well, you know what? Alright, if it doesn't, if they cancel it, we're throwing our own festival.
Oh yeah, that's like I'm not gonna lie. It doesn't matter when we're allowed to do it, but as soon as we can start getting fucked up again, I've got a whole year of not being sober to make up for.
Yep, I have a garden. Everyone brings their tents. We sit in the garden.
Down.
Enough said.
Like, that's what after the first lockdown, that's what me and some family did. It was like before the rule of 6 and shit. There was like 30 of us, 15 adults, 15 kids, because like my family, like older brothers and sisters who are married with kids age, where we spent the whole day just in like a massive like camp thing where they had like teepees set up with like beds, and they had like old railway, like old trains turned into like rooms, like old carriages and shit. And then we had like one big kitchen teepee thing with like a communal area with a fire, and we just spent the whole day out in the fucking like outside in the grass, drinking, eating, going swimming in the river and fishing and shit. And then at night when the kids went to bed, we just got fucked up. It was great.
So, wait. What were you getting fucked up on?
Alcohol. Anyways,
But
what do we have time for another topic, or are we getting close to the?
we can do one more, or we can end up there. It's up to you.
I reckon I should pull one out just for good measure.
I think Jay should bring up something. What's on your mind, Jay?
I got a question from my brother, for Ryan. I put my Instagram story for any podcast questions. And my brother has asked, is Ryan's hair as soft as it looks in real life?
That's one thing that like I've had my whole life is people being like, "Oh, wait, your hair is actually so soft. What?" And then they just like play with it for like 5-10 minutes. It's great. Like a sheep, but like human.
I remember
first
my
shoot
hair
we
was
will do.
blonde. That's
First shoot we all do as like a group.
You get 10 minutes allocated to play with my hair.
It's just gonna be the first 10 minutes of the recording. I'm just gonna be like, oh, that's through his hair.
I'm not lie, I do it sometimes. I'm sat in bed and I just play with my hair. Quite nice.
That's pretty much all I got, to be honest. Today.
Spain.
That's fair.
I'm
That is Spain with the S.
Right, Eddie, give us an outro.
Well, outro?
Yeah.
Oh damn. Jay, I'm gonna mug you off here and I'm deeply apologetic, right?
I'm used to
I
it.
forgot the fucking outro. What's good, guys? That was what the fuck happened last night. I'm Ed, that's Reese, that's Ryan, that's Jay, and remember, if he's not going to Reading Festival, he's not the one.
Wait. Before we end it, can we compare our outros? Because I had one saved in my head for Eddie and I forgot to tell him.
Go on.
I was gonna say that's Eddie, that's Reese, that's Ryan, I'm Jay. And remember, you don't need to tell your girl every 15 minutes to keep. No, flopped it. No, just cut Eddie.
No, go again. Take two.
Go again.
I had it written down. You gotta edit that.
I will genuinely edit that out. Genuinely.
A hero. It was. Where is it? I literally had it written down because it made me laugh, and I thought, you know what, Eddie might like this. Oh yeah, okay. So that was the podcast. That's Eddie. That's Reese. I'm Ryan. That's Ryan. I'm Jay. And remember, if your girl says she'll be ready in 15 minutes or so, you don't have to keep reminding her every half an hour. Yeah. Compare them. Vote. Who's Eddie
Tell us in the
compare?
comments who you like the most.
Yeah.
By the way,
Eddie, I'm gonna comment myself saying Eddie's because that was a flop.
Elite clothing.
Elite
That's great.
clothing.
yeah, it's going to be in the description.
WTF Pod EC.
Just end it. Just end it.
By, yeah.
End it. Just end it.